What is a hero? An admirable man or a man admired? As a new wave of these so-called alpha humans have emerged over recent years, the world has seen nothing but savior after savior flying over to save the day. Gods attempting to seem human. Live from the National Podcasting Channel, welcome to the Perceptions of the Alpha Human Obsession podcast, the PowCast. I'm your esteemed host, Steve Holden. As the award-winning author of the New York Times bestseller, The Super Problem with Superheroes, I'm here to give you a definitive look at the supers behind the spandex, the crusaders behind the capes, and how much these so-called heroes actually do for our society. Today,
Mr. Holden! Okay, I found your Icelandic goat coffee.
You actually found Icelandic goat coffee. It exists.
Smells like asbestos.
Please refrain from speaking until we've introduced you.
You would not believe where I had to go to get this.
Why is it green?
I don't know, but be careful, it's hot as balls. That's where I spilled it the first cup. Had to go back for the second. Gotta get some ice for the old one-eyed snake and our two roommates. That's why it took so long. Anyway, first show. This is awesome, man.
Oh, well, this week in the news, we've...
Wait, aren't you gonna introduce me? I got fans, too. Hi, Mommy!
Yes, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is my sound engineer and co-host, Frankie.
Hello. You know, I never thought
And this week in the news, last Monday, the terms of surrender have been finalized in the catastrophic war that recently took place with the Dickhead alien army.
Dickhead army.
Please, and I presume you say Uranus, too?
Uranus.
On Thursday, the reconstruction of the Washington Monument suffered a setback when an alien weapons cache was discovered underneath the debris.
Oh yeah, I saw it when it blew up on TV. That was fucking rad, dude.
Rad. The destruction of one of the symbols of this nation, and you call it rad.
Symbol of a tall, white phallus. But yeah.
Our first guest is one of the founders of America's resident super team, the Independence Squad. He has been called the Animalistic Avenger, the Clubber of Justice. In this reporter's humble opinion, he should be called what he truly is, a violent vigilante.
Should you talk about him that way? He's literally like 2 feet in front of you.
We're alive. He can't do anything to us.
Wait, what do you mean us? Wait.
You have nothing to worry about, son. Although your fear scent is... intoxicating. I'm completely harmless to civilians.
You just did whatever the fuck that was and you expect me to believe you?
Well, haven't you seen that one picture of me with a toddler?
Yeah, I remember. It was crying hysterically.
Are crying kids an uncommon occurrence?
Well... Okay, so here's the thing. When they're crying over their murdered parents next to their parents' murderer, yeah, I think that's uncommon.
Please, that's all internet hearsay. I'm sure that rumors like this about me, I'll be able to completely obliterate today.
I'm glad to hear it. For now, we'll hear what our listeners at home have to say. Hello, you are on the air with PowCast. What do you have to say about Caveman?
Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan!
Well, we've only been on the air for 2 minutes, but thank you, I'm flattered.
Not you, Grandpa. Caveman.
Oh.
Thank you, young troglodyte. I hope to live up to all your expectations.
Oh, you've exceeded every expectation so far.
I've only said one sentence, but thank you.
Do you have, say, a question for Caveman to answer?
So, I was wondering, are you circumcised? Or does your yogurt-singing banana man wear a turtleneck?
Oh, well, that's hardly...
That's a great question. I actually circumcised myself.
Interesting. How old were you when you did this?
37. Next question, please.
An interesting way to start this show, but a start nonetheless. Thank you, Mr. What's your name, sir?
Oh, it's Samuel. Samuel Stephen Stephenson II. I love you, caveman.
All right, let's see who else we got here. Frankie, bring on the next caller.
Radio me, hombre.
Hello.
Hello, good sir. You're calling into the series premiere of PowCast. What can we answer for you?
Sweet. Can I get a large everything without olives or peppers or bacon and have just ham and pineapples? Wait, if an everything pizza only has some of the things on it, wouldn't it just be a some things pizza?
Sir, this is a radio show. You're on the PowCast.
Oh, PowCast. I thought you said Pizza Hut.
Those two don't sound anything like each other.
Yeah, totally, man. Sick.
Okay, off you go. You know, I knew he was on something the second he asked for pineapples on his pizza.
You know, I never liked Hawaiian pizza. The smell is very pungent.
You know, it's so funny. I feel the same way about Steve.
Ayo! Moving swiftly along to our next caller.
Hello, yes, I'm calling from my gynecologist.
Hello, ma'am. This is not a doctor's office. This is actually Steve Holden from PowCast.
I'm calling about a large discharge of mucus
Ma'am.
and large sores on and around my vulva, leaking pus. The area is also quite musty.
Oh, turn it off!
Ma'am, this is not your gynecologist. I'm Steve Holden, and you've called into the PowCast.
Yeah! The PowCast! Like what they do in the comic books when they're kicking ass! Pow! Blam! Crash!
No, actually, it stands for...
PowCast, eh? Sounds kinky. What would you like to do to me, Mr. Holden?
Oh god, no.
I can almost smell it.
Alright, dude, we get it. You're good at smelling things.
And that, unfortunately, concludes our first caller's segment. Thank you to those who stopped by, and to you, Samuel, for participating. So, Caveman, to start things off, how do you react to the accusations of excessive brutality in your crime-fighting method?
Oh, it's all just accusations. You can make up anything on the internet.
Well then, have you anything to say about this clip?
No, please, stop!
That's not me.
Caveman smash, beauty man!
Well, hypothetically, if that were me, he's probably not being hurt that badly.
Break up!
You know, we're always so quick to defend the supposed victim in clips such as these, but context is paramount in these types of situations, is it not?
He's kind of got a point. What if he's like a murderer?
That man was paralyzed from the nose down. How is that physically possible?
If you look in the police reports, that was due to a self-inflicted injury sustained in custody.
How is it possible to injure yourself in such a way?
Well, I suppose you'd need to inflict damage directly to the length of the spinal cord, as well as the back of the skull, simultaneously.
Are you a doctor?
No.
So you speak from experience?
Of course not, Steve. I would never fight crime using such primitive methods.
Wait, so the name Caveman isn't primitive?
Then how would you describe your methods?
Well, every night before I go out on patrol, I suit up in my cave loincloth and cave bulletproof vests. I grab my cave clubs, cave hatchet, cave handcuffs, cave taser, and then finally I eat the heart of a large deer. You've got to get your nutrients. And then I leave my cave.
Two things. One, heart of a large deer. And two, more importantly, your hideout is called the Cave.
I know, right? He is so cool.
That sounds like a bit of an obsession. Can you describe your special relationship with caves?
Yeah, well, with my knowledge as a former anthropology professional, I have studied the simplistic nature of men at their most primal state. My theory is that criminals are just men, reverting to their base desires, greed, hunger, lust, animalistic qualities if there ever was one. And in order to catch those fueled by their base human desires, one must give in to the basest of human desires. The animalistic impulses that we all carry even in today's society. Every human body has the potential to run at 40 miles an hour, tear a gazelle limb from limb, subsist on nothing but leaves and raw meat.
So then you do have an explanation for the claw marks on these victims.
That's irrelevant. The point is I've honed my body to the level of fitness that our ancestors built fighting saber-toothed tigers.
Okay. And this helps you fight crime. Are your honed human senses all that you rely on?
Well, after I prepare my patrol, my cave police radio scanner informs me of disturbances in the surrounding neighborhood. And then I use my cave senses to track down my prey. I mean targets, I mean victims, I mean meats, I mean bad guys. They're scent, you see.
Okay, so we're back to smelling.
How do your cave senses work, exactly?
Oh, through years of training, I have honed my normal senses to a superhuman degree. I can feel the ink of the individual letters in a book. I can spot a mouse in the grass and hear his last heartbeat as I squeeze the life out of it.
That sounds so cool, man. Do you think that maybe you could teach me some of that and then we can go punch bad guys together and then you can adopt me?
Me? Bring a child to fight crime? That's absurd. And reckless and downright impractical. I'm not even crazy enough to do that.
Not to mention illegal.
Tomato, tomato.
How about we circle back? All of what you just described seems physically brutal. Do you think all of that excessive brutality is necessary? It doesn't look like you're saving the people. It looks like you're just crippling the criminal.
I'm not crippling them. They were resisting arrest. Although I do use physical force to subdue the perpetrator, I always capture them completely unharmed.
Dude, there is no way.
Look in the police reports. They'll tell you everything.
And there's discrepancies in the police reports because this man is clearly injured.
Actually, the commissioner just gave a statement about that.
Yes, I'm sure this will explain everything. Let's pull it up.
Despite claims that the criminal's injuries were caused by a caveman, our medical professionals have found that they came from a fall down several of the warehouse's flights of stairs and into a busy road where they were run over repeatedly by trucks. Semi-trucks. Multiple semi-trucks. He is expected to make a full recovery.
A fall? What warehouse has a flight of stairs that leads directly into a highly busy street?
The scene of the crime was closed off for security reasons, but if you were there, you could see that this is the only logical explanation.
Yeah, Steve. Everybody knows Caveman has a strict no-kill rule.
Exactly. Remember, I was the first member of the Independent Squad to capture a dickhead operative during the invasion, using my enhanced sense of smell, of course. If I'm such a killer as you say I am, why didn't I just snap his neck outright?
Do you need a lozenge?
Yes, a lozenge would be very pleasant right now, thank you.
Why are you getting upset?
I'm not upset. Just thinking about criminals gets me hot-blooded. It's my highly honed sense of justice.
Oh, I can imagine.
The image of a mugger.
Pointing his gun at some helpless soul.
The bloodlust in a serial killer's eyes.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me want to rip his intestines out of his body. Why are we even incarcerating these animals? They deserve to be hunted like animals.
So do you still want that lozenge?
Yes, thank you. As it turns out, I'm getting a call on my K-phone from the commissioner. If you excuse me, it looks like I really need to cut things short here today. Thank you so much for having me, Steve. And now, if you excuse me, I must continue to keep our streets clean from the criminal vermin below. Caveman, exit!
He's going out the window. Okay. Oh, watch out for the pigeon.
And now, before we go, a word from our sponsor.
Hey you, is your life hard? Do you have to wake up every day and go to a job that you hate? You know what would stop your suicidal tendencies? A Big Nut, the super great snack. The Big Nut is a genetically modified, extra-large peanut. It's got nutrients and stuff. Probably. It's definitely healthier than chips. Not even a fraction as satisfying, and 3 times as expensive. But just think about how good it'll feel to spend all that money on something healthy. Almost like you're getting your life together. Big Nut. the super duper nut.
Well, folks, in the quest to hold accountable those with power, you see a pattern emerge. One wherein legal loopholes are used to skirt common sense and cold, hard facts.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy. But you gotta admit, with the internet nowadays, it's kinda hard to get the real facts out there.
Oh, please, Frankie, when you've seen as much as I have, you know this simply isn't the case with scumbags like Caveman.
Wait, are we having a debate right now? This is like a dream come true for me. I have read all of your articles and your book, so you can say I'm also an alpha human inspector.
Don't you mean expert?
Aren't those the same thing?
Not even close.
Okay, well, with that aside, I actually am really interested in maybe becoming a superhero analyst like you. Maybe a little different, though.
Really? What, pray tell, would you do better?
Oh, I never said better.
You said different, which implies there's something wrong with my method, does it not?
Okay, well, honestly, you can be a little condescending sometimes. Why don't we try cutting these guys some slack? I mean, they're risking their lives for God's sake.
Oh, Frankie. I'll forgive your naivete on account of your age. You'll have to learn to think more critically if you want to really contribute in this field. Then you'll see how much these people really do risk. And all that happens next week and every week here on PowCast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our pilot episode. Don't forget to follow the NPC on all social media platforms to stay updated on all things Alpha-related. I'm Steve Holden.
And I'm
And to all a good night. Stay vigilant, friends.
Ooh, nice catchphrase.
You ruined the moment.